I never grew up with educators that looked like myself. I always knew that wisdom was a powerful tool, but I also know that oftentimes we neglect it because of who it comes from.
Facts.
It's not necessarily just about being a king, it's more so about becoming a kingmaker.
Man, you got to be close enough to relate, but far enough ahead to inspire. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Let's Grow Together podcast, where diverse individuals and communities come to serve, connect, and grow in areas that they're most passionate about. I know y'all see what's going on, man. As always, it's your boy J Turner 0121 with my brother Marcus.
What's going on, family? It's Marcus, aka Mastermind _ Marcus. And again, man, y'all see we got some beautiful guests today. Some a little bit different, a little different setup. We're actually in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got the Chicago family with us today.
Yeah.
Just got done knocking out our restorative justice practice. But again, we do have two of our guests today. So we have Mr. Stephen and Miss Azha today. They are members of the Roots Mentoring Squad, man. We're going to pick their brain a little bit more. They dabble, they do a lot. So if y'all don't mind, man, I would love for y'all just to give us a little bit of a brief intro, a little bit about yourself. We'll dive into it.
Yes, I am Stephan Hayes. My company is Hip Hop Culture. I also want to do a subsidiary, Hip Hop Legacy, but I'm a veteran, 29 years old, and I'm an entrepreneur as well, and a father.
Appreciate you.
My name is Azha McNeil. I am the CEO of PreTeepBoutique LLC. We specialize in holistic and alternative healthcare products. I'm 27, right here from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Have two beautiful babies. And holistic practitioner. That's what I specialize in.
Yo, man, hey, this is phenomenal, family. Like we talked about a long time ago, man. We finally connected, man. We're here on the beautiful Fayetteville State campus. But, man, to our guests, man, you guys are, holistic, and you guys' approach, like, how did you guys come about that? Like, were you like that when you guys met, or was it like one of you guys was the pioneer of the movement? Like, how did that work out?
So I believe it was definitely always based in both of our backgrounds. I majored in biology at Johnson C. Smith University with a minor in chemistry. And so my journey kind of started there. I always knew I wanted to help people. I always have been attracted to math and science. Okay. And so going there, I knew, you have goals, but they always restart with something new. Yeah. And so that's why I majored in biology with the minor in chem to go to dental school. Okay. Everything changed in May of 2018. My mother passed away the same month that I graduated school and the same month that I was pregnant with my daughter. Oh, wow. And so a lot happened in that 1 month that kind of led the way for where I am now, with all focus and emphasis on health, because we can't do anything else without being healthy. And so that was very important to me to do the research and figure out the knowledge of how we can help ourselves before we can help others in that field of health.
That's real. Well, first off, my condolences.
Sincerely.
Yeah, me and her story goes back. She probably didn't want to, get into it all like that. Yeah. But her mother used to always be like, man, y'all gonna be together, but like in depth though, so you're married and all that stuff. So we were young and was like,
how young when she was saying this?
Well, I mean, I really wasn't too young. I was like 14, 15, 16. So around those years. So she's probably like a year younger than me. So, we had knowledge of kind of like things that was going on, what things were. Mm-hmm. But, man, we were just so like, we were just young and dating and stuff like that. So I never really took it. I can speak for me. I don't think I ever took like dating back then too seriously. But because I'm going to jump back on that. But even when I was younger, around those ages, like I played a lot of ball and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I never really thought I would be in a holistic circle, I'll say, because I never really found, this type of stuff to be as intriguing as it is now. Mm-hmm. Like I stayed outside, I stayed fishing, I stayed doing a lot of stuff in the woods. So I was like a nature boy naturally. Yeah. I get older though, and I just found like my dad was a farmer. My grandma kind of grew up on a farm. Like we kind of grew up around the hogs, pig pen, like not kind of like that was my life for a long time. So I didn't get the chance to, go to Walmart for the convenience of them having groceries and stuff like that all the time. Like that wasn't my life. So naturally, you see, I have these type of skills for agriculture, horticulture, technology, and things like that. So I was naturally doing all that type of stuff already. But 2020, my mother passed away. You know, on the same exact day as Kobe Bryant. I want to say maybe an hour or two later. So it was like a bad day for me starting off. But that day I had a dream. Like my brother was in the middle, and we were sitting in a circle, and he was just pretty much like coaching us, but he won't nothing coming out of his mouth. But I look up and I see my sister, and then the rest like little kids. So it kind of just led like, you know, my brother's gonna be, you're gonna need him. Like I just took it like that. And so that dream, man, I woke up and everything just began to manifest in my life. Like I really started to go after everything I wanted to go after. Mushrooms came back in my life, culinary mushrooms, learning about them, learning you know, stuff that people don't teach and things like that. And so I don't know, I came back to North Carolina because I was away for, you know, a while, Georgia, Florida, and I don't even know how we reconnected. I think it was Telegram, right?
No. So Chris, there's this guy that my mother mentored a lot, and he was just always, you know, with us. So I called him my brother, and he was coming from California, and so you had, I can't remember if I hit you up or you hit me up that day. I think you hit me.
Who
up
slid
that day.
first?
I know I reached out.
I think you hit me up that day, like on I think it was Facebook Messenger, and I was like, Chris coming through, like you should pull up, like family reunion type of thing, because you know he used to be friends with Chris and stuff like that. And so that is the first time he came back around. Yes, in 2020, it was like September. Yeah. It was like September. So yeah.
I love that. So I heard both of y'all really speak about the influence of your mothers, right? Know a little bit about, but I would love to hear again, because every time we talk about influential figures, James and I refer to our grandfathers, right? We got some deep stories, some memories, some things that really motivated, impacted us, and stuck with us today. I know you all's mothers, you know, just kind of hearing y'all's testimony, that's the same for y'all. So I love just to hear about how you all's mothers kind of helped propel you to where you are today, maybe a few pillars or foundation that really stuck with you all as well.
Okay, so yeah, Stephanie McNeil. That name, I said it like that because that name rings bells. It moves people. It's powerful. Stephanie McNeil was a teacher here in Fayetteville, North Carolina since like 95. Like I think she started a year before. It might have been 94. It was a year or two before I was born, and I was born in 96. And she taught at Palm Forest High and Chestnut Middle, Westover Middle, Westover High is where her last posting of teaching was. She meant a lot to the community. She meant a lot to a lot of people. Like her vibe, like she was sports, everything about sports. So all European and track. She was an English teacher, but just, you know, the saying, what is it, trade, jack of all trades. Yeah, so jack of all trades was definitely, that was Stephanie. Okay. But she did a lot. She was a coach, basketball mentor, all types of things. And so her influence just on the community and definitely on my life it impacted completely. Like I was the only child in the home, in her home, even though my father had, you know, we had a lot of brothers and sisters on my father's side, had a lot of kids. But just being the only child and seeing how much she's impacting all these people. I love your mama. Like, that's my mama. Yeah. No, that's my mama. But okay, I got you. They're trying to call me like, you know, sis, little bro. Yeah. So I got like a lot of family that claim me, you know, as little sis, little bro, even though I probably don't even remember you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how that kind of relationship goes. She was deeply rooted into the rec center. So now we're reaching out to even further than the schools that she was teaching at. She also taught or worked at the rec centers. Her impact in the community was just really big. And so with that being said, like, she not only was just in these places, but was making impacts. Like, was just that type of person who smile, lit up the room. You would turn your head when she walked in the room, like a different type of energy. And so that impact, she definitely passed it on genetically, but also just from me watching her growing up, like, it just automatically was passed to me.
That's dope.
And so the way she influenced my life was definitely on that, and my love for people, I can definitely see a reflection of her. Like, I love people. I want to help people in any aspect, in every way. I chose health, but really, like, her ability to teach has even, like, it was a calling that I didn't even really, like, want to step into fully, like, in the classroom. But it was definitely something that I embrace completely, is to be able to teach, because knowledge is, that applied knowledge is power, you know, and you can really change the world by something like that. Like, people say, I want to change the world, but how are you really doing it? Like, are you giving people the tools to change the world? Because you can't go around doing it by yourself, honestly. Like, one person can't change the world. It takes some movement. And so like with the teaching and stuff, like she was just very instrumental in my life.
That's real. That's real. Man, you remember Daryea said, if you want to move fast, move alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I love that. And I love your piece on applied knowledge, because people think knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? It's applied knowledge. A book that ain't been open ain't really worth much. You know what I'm saying? So that's real. Appreciate you.
Man, I felt like sometimes, like with her mom, I had a deep connection with her mother because, like I said, we were young when we were, dating and stuff, but eventually, time goes on and we kind of broke up. But she didn't like that her mother, you know what I mean? Like
Liked you so much.
Oh my goodness. I'm just like,
Did y'all peep the Stephan and Stephanie though? That cause I
the whole time I ain't even peeped that.
That's why she. Yeah.
Okay.
It was set up in so many ways that that was out of my control, and that's why I think we both respect this in that manner so much, because it was like we know that we had no control over any of this. But sticking on the topic though, her mother was there would probably really not be enough words that she could say, but in those times that she was gone, I got to see another surface of her mother, that really challenged my intellect as well, caused me to start doing a lot of things. And the reason being, also, this is not the main reason, but her mother was going through a lot of traumatic things with her physical health before she departed from here, and I was around those times when she was still in school doing her thing. But my mother is from North Carolina as well. The exact city in North Carolina, I'm actually not sure. I believe it's probably Durham or Raleigh, probably somewhere up there. They didn't really have too many stuff going down. Like it had to be in a major city if you were in hospital time. Yeah. So they were in the field. That's all they did. All they knew was field. Like when they tell the story today, it's kind of disturbing. To be honest, because when I hear it from my aunts and them, they were always working for somebody else. Yeah. And the other man in particular. So it was kind of a slap in the face when I got older, and they keep telling these stories, but I had to realize that's all they knew. That's all they went. But my mother was phenomenal. She went to college as well. She went for cuisine. What's culinary arts? Yes. And she could really do a cooking, and she was so artistic. This whole room, she'll draw it better than what it looks. Yeah. She'll show colors in this room that you didn't even. Oh, it is that over there. Really, she was so amazing. I can't talk enough about her. But my mother also had a side to her that was in the streets and things like that, because somewhere along that path something happened, and the streets got involved, and my mother got addicted to drugs and things like that. Yeah. In between all of it though, you wouldn't be able to tell a flaw in her unless you caught her in the midst of her using or something like that, because so many people was like, man, I had no clue, this and that. I had no clue, this and that. That's because her intelligence, her brightness, everything about her will always, show. But I say that because, in her greatness, also, I learned a lot, from her darkness as well. Yeah. The things that she threw on me, I feel is on me. When I say that, the entrepreneur spirit. My mother, man, consumer laws, the way that she knew certain things, the way that she knew how to get commercial laws, don't try to play her. You know what I'm saying? There's for sure 20,000 coming out of you in another 2 months. She knew things like that where she was being exposed. The exact training that we've done for the past 3 days, she knew this type of information. Yeah. And would have thrived at it, would have been great at it. So those type of skills, I believe she's left on me. So I love humanity. Yeah. Love. She had an uncanny, what would we saying? Agape love. There was somebody in y'all group that couldn't agree at one point. Unconditional love. Yeah. Unconditional love, man. And so, and everybody loved her for it. So I definitely say that. Just the humanity, just the fight for humanity. I'll say that's what she left in me.
That's phenomenal. Man, I think it was during one of the sessions. You weren't in my session, but you mentioned you guys are trying to develop your own water source separate from the city. I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Yes, sir. And shout out to Moses. I forget his last name, but this guy pretty much he created this. We spoke about this briefly. Juice Products. He was speaking on his name. Moses West. His name is Moses West. This man created a machine to generate some type of generator that generates. So there's moisture in our air. This machine is going to take the moisture out the air, and he was pretty much you're never going to run out of moisture in the air because there's so much seas, there's so much water around us that it's it's just returning to everlasting cycle. They say we still drinking the waters that the dinosaurs were drinking. So this man has pretty much created this machine that's able to take the pure water out the air, and places that desolate for water don't have water, fresh, pure, drinkable water, right there, available. I don't know how much the machine costs, but yeah. So for me, pure water system, well water.
Okay.
Starting the well water, we pretty much already started, like I said, homesteading.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much already have some land. We want more land than what we have, a lot more. Like they say they're inventing tons of things, but they're not making more land. You know?
Facts.
So investing in it is like very, very big and solid with me. Our own food. I'm in school currently. I mentioned it earlier a little bit. Agriculture and horticulture technology. Horticulture, agriculture technology, no specific order. But I'm pretty much integrating those same skills, understanding of the ground, and you're adding into, let's just be honest, in today's time, technology. So aerial drones that's able to go over the land, survey the land, determine exactly what you do and don't have in the land that could be beneficial for which in particular crop, that whatever that you want to grow in abundance.
Yeah.
And so
That's dope.
I'm into things like that right now. Our own off the grid, literally solar panel. This stuff ain't far fetched from, having to, like, needing it. Soon, like, we all think it's like, oh man, I wish I had the money. Like, how much do your health cost? Like, how much do your life cost? Because the hospital bills won't stop.
That's real.
Like things like that.
Y'all consistent. Well, I'll speak for Asia. Being that she's on the team, like even now, man, I was making my plate. I threw some hot sauce on that joint. I threw some ketchup. And Asia looked at me like, huh? Like, what's going on?
She said it's so much salt.
You feel me? Like, all the above. But again, it's great to have that presence of somebody, one who like genuinely cares enough to express that. I know it's all out of love. And again, a lot of times with our community, we talk about the high cholesterol. We talk about, the blood pressure, all these different components as well. So I know that, Asia, I would love to hear a little bit more about, your product, your product line, your organization you've created, and, some of the supplements that you use on a day-to-day basis to help offset a lot of those nuances.
So just picking up right where I left off with my story, like that same month, like I stated before, my mother passed away May 31st. I graduated, I think, May 18th, and I found out I was pregnant. Like that first week in May, it might have been like May 4th. And so all of that happened, and I was 20, about to be 22. And so I was still in the process of finding myself. Like it's also why I tell a lot of students now, like, go ahead and know what you want to do. If you can figure that out, earlier, go ahead and do that. I knew the background, the biology would definitely help me, but I just didn't know the process of how I was going to get there. So being pregnant, I had a goal of going to the military so they could pay for dental school. Thought I had it all laid out, but then I got pregnant. So of course I couldn't do it that way. But being that I had just lost my mother, like the person who was everything, like I had to grow up very, very quickly. Yeah. Like she was paying for a few things, but I was, independent in Charlotte. But now I got to do everything, like insurance. Never knew. That's when I found out America's a scam. Insurance is a scam. Like, because the amount of money that they try to hit me with, I was like, I don't even need it. If something happened to me, hopefully somebody will save my life. So, having to grow up quick, having to just find myself. And so I went through a deep, deep depression. And that's it right there. Like, went through depression, separated myself from a lot of people. I was in a relationship with her father, ended up getting out of that. And so I had to start my healing process. During this healing process, I got closer to God. My great-grandmother, rest her soul as well, Leanna McNeil, was a pastor. So God has always been there, but I never had this close relationship with God. I didn't know how to come to him. I didn't know how to pray to him. I didn't know because I never asked him for this relationship. Yeah. And so being that I'm always this happy person and I could no longer understand how to feel happy, I wanted that back. And so that's what I started praying for. Like, Lord, I'm new to this. Like, help me. Like, I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be unhappy any longer. I want to understand. And so the moment I prayed for understanding, it's just like my world opened up. And once I got that relationship with him and started to heal my mind, I'll say, okay, now what is my calling? What am I here for? Like, because you saved me, I'm here for a reason. What am I here for? And so, of course, I had my babies. Like, my daughter was a big reason why I didn't leave this earth. Like, I had somebody I had to take care of now. I had bigger responsibilities than myself. And so that process of having my daughter, the process of praying for understanding and leading to all of it, my mother having cancer, everything led to health. Everything was saying, you need to teach everybody about health. So it really started with, like, feminine health and everything that I went through with the birthing process of my daughter. How doctors lied to me about, her heartbeat is increasing, it's fluctuating, we got to do a C-section. That was never in my birthing plan. A lot of things were forced. Water was broke, like purposely. A lot of things were forced. The whole process was like, kind of like, it was a lot, for a first time mother. Like, and then I didn't have my mother, so I didn't have anybody to ask, how is this supposed to go? Like, I'm just there, So fast forward, I started teaching at Riverside Christian Academy, and got a lot closer to God, got a lot closer to the things that I was supposed to be doing. 2020, December 2020, had to backtrack a little, is when I filed for my LLC. Still had the idea of, okay, I want this to be feminine health, but wanted to encompass everybody as well. So it started off as feminine health, like I said, with every intent on helping women understand the education behind it, their bodies. Saying it's okay to have these conversations. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about vaginal health, vagina. Yeah. Like, let's be okay saying that. Let's talk about it. Like, because we're out here having sex, but we don't have these sex conversations. So now we're not protecting ourselves in the way, like, it's more than just condoms. Like, it's more to it. Like, it's a lot more to it. Because you're having the sex and then you're having the babies, and you don't know nothing. Like, before you get into, you don't know nothing, but you're still doing this stuff. And so the education behind it, the products that went with it. When I first started using the product that I created was a P-Fresh suppository. It's a suppository with 100% boric acid that you would insert into the vagina to get rid of BV and yeast infections. Women all over the world, like, go to, how you have a common cold? Yeah. This is like a common cold for some women. Like, they'll have a BV or a yeast infection. A lot of women don't get them. A lot of women do. It's a lot linked to your diet, but it also can be linked to who you're having intercourse with. Yeah. And so with this being said, like, there's a lot of education behind this that we were missing out on. We have to go to the doctor. You get the dissolve cream that is supposed to clear all the bacteria out, but it causes a yeast infection. So now you're going back and forth to the doctor for these same, it's just like you said earlier, like I was saying earlier, you identify the symptoms and you're like, okay, here's this medicine, but you're not getting to the root of the problem. It's the health behind it. And so creating a boric acid suppository, boric acid is the pH of about 4 on a pH scale. The female vagina is about 3.8 to 4.5 depending on age. And so if you balance that environment with a natural boric acid suppository, it'll balance the environment to where nothing else can grow in that environment. And so being that I created this product, I used to go to the store using these products, but I'm reading the back of the label and I'm like, I'm putting this in there. Stuff, that's crazy. Like, so all of my products were just like that. I started with, I'm using this stuff, but how can I make it better? How can I make it an alternative? And that's why I say an alternative healthcare product, because none of my products have fillers. They're all natural. This is the way we're going. We have teas, supplements, shea butters, toothpaste. Hopefully, when I look down the road and I have my wellness clinics, because that's where it's going. Like,
talk that.
Like, I'm in school for phlebotomy now to get the hours so I can become a PA, to go to PA school. Okay. Open up these wellness clinics, and with these wellness clinics, you'll be able to come in just like your regular doctor's office and say, this is what's going on with me. What methods can I use, or what can I do holistically to solve the root of the problem and not just the symptoms that's going on. And so all the products are already made, and of course more will come. The wellness teas, everything, like, more will come. But that is the whole goal, is to open these clinics up around the world and give you an alternative to just going to Dr. what's his name down the road who's just gonna keep giving me ibuprofen.
That's real. What's the name of the company?
PreTeepBoutique LLC.
Okay, Pretty P.
So pretty T. T-E-E is my mother's nickname.
Got you.
And so everybody's like, free T, but it's just pretty. Like, you just say pretty, but it's T. So I had to put her in there. Yeah. P is like OPP. It is pretty person, pretty people. When I started, it was feminine healthcare. Yeah. So insert your P there, So that's that P. That's
dope, yo. That's dope.
That's why I just left it like OPP, like pretty people, like you person, but the pretty person, like pretty. You gotta be pretty on the outside, but you're only equivalent to how pretty you are on the outside to what's inside of you. Yeah. So what are you putting inside of your body to make you this pretty person?
Yeah, that's real.
Because it'll come out. Yeah. So
man, you said something that was powerful, but I don't want our listeners to glance over that. You were saying like when you went in to have your daughter, like, the doctors were just telling you like, oh, her heartbeat is this, her heartbeat is that. I was listening to an old Big Sean song, and it was on one of the like his old albums, and he said he had like a heart murmur, and basically he went to this specialist that was telling him like, man, we may have to perform heart surgery, this, that, and the third. And he was like, man, his mom or his grandma was like really big on holistic wellness, like holistic medicines. And basically, you know, they went to this holistic doctor and he prescribed magnesium. And he told him like, man, take some magnesium. And he started taking magnesium, and pretty much his heart, you know, it improved, right? And then he went back to the specialist. The specialist was like, damn, what happened? Like, what did you do? And he was like amazed, like, how did you get rid of this? And he was just like, see, at that point, like, I was done with Western medicine. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Imagine if you would have went and got heart surgery.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, I don't know what they studied and what they missed, but it's been here.
Yeah.
God put exactly what we needed on this earth to not only heal, but to maintain. Like, all the herb, everything we need is here. Yeah. The plants, the soil, like you said, magnesium. That's a natural occurring element. Everything we need is right here. Yeah. Like, the diseases that we have, this dis-ease, it's a dis-ease. It's a symptom. Things are happening to our body that are putting us or making us uneasy because of what we're putting into our body. And this is why I speak on the things that we're eating, because if you look at the labels, America is trying to kill us. Like, I hate to say it. I hope they don't, like, you know how YouTube edit it out, but there's things that we're eating in our foods that are not supposed to be there at all. They're man-made supplements. We're not man-made. So we can't eat man-made things.
That's real.
Like, processed food is killing us, like, literally, and slowly. So people, you know, I'll do that later. Like, I'm good. Are you though? Like, you know, like.
And it's interesting you say the processed foods, 'cause, like, that was the first question my doctor asked, and she's actually like, she's a traditional doctor, but she has a lot of holistic practices. And she was asking me a lot of the same exact things. She's like, yeah, well, how often are you in the gym? And it was just the question she's asking. I'm like, okay, cool. And I started thinking about I'd call them my ancestors, but like my parents, my grandparents, their great grandparents. And Lily, she was asking me, well, what runs in your family? And everything I was naming, she was like, well, there's a parallel, right? There's something in alignment. And exactly. Then I want to revert back to you. We're talking about the pregnancy. My sister recently just had her son. Again, I was there when my wife had it. And there was some things that looked off to me. And I asked my wife about it, but I wanted to make sure she was in a state where, you know, she had already maneuvered through, so she was in the coping process of like being on the other side. And I pointed some things out, and she was like, yeah, that looked off to me too. Did you notice that as well? To the point where my sister was like, yo, I'm just going doula. Like, I don't even want to be in a hospital doing these things. And I've realized just doing some studying, like, a lot of these things just traditionally happen to our black women. It's not like it's standard across the board, but I've noticed if I wasn't in the room, I don't think a lot of things would have been addressed. And I went out my way like, hey, bruh, like, we not finna do this, or y'all finna. And then even in the midst of her being pregnant, giving birth, like, that shit was like, what's it called? Where people walk in, it's like a
revolving door.
I'm like, yo, no, y'all, no, we don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? At that point, everything was already taken care of, and it's just the respect across the board isn't there. So everything you're speaking to, I can attest to, because I witnessed firsthand.
Like, it's so within these wellness clinics, I will also have a birthing center for black women, for all women. But if you look at the statistics of black women and the rates that they are dying and that their children are dying during childbirth, it's drastically higher than any other race. We're not given the same. I mean, it's across the board. Like, that's the sad part. Like, the practices in these hospitals are literally not, like, you can search millions of articles of doctors trying to pull babies out, like I said before, God put everything here exactly how it's supposed to be. What mammal when you watch mammals give birth, animals,
they just
do they lay on their back?
Do
they lay on their back? Do they take medicine? Do they do all these interventions that are unnecessary? They're all unnecessary. A woman's body was made exactly how it's supposed to be to give birth, exactly how it's supposed to be. Like, the interventions is what caused the issues. I was perfectly fine before I went to the hospital. I went because, you know, all the symptoms were there that I was probably about to go into labor. That when I walked through the door, from the moment you walk through the door, the smell, the lights, the rush, the whole atmosphere of a hospital immediately causes you and your child distress. Immediately. So distress is why the heart rate was fluctuating. Not my baby, distress. So all the interventions come in after that. Like, we just have to be. It's all about the knowledge. It's all about the education. Like, we don't need all of that. You don't need that. Like, we get scared, especially as first time moms, because if something happens, I want to be in a setting where somebody can save my child.
Right.
But with the education and the knowledge that we need, like, we can stop all of that and intervene. Of course, you'll still have people who have high risk pregnancies, but these are when you find your holistic doctors or your doulas or your midwives, and you still can birth at home within water. Like, there's better ways. There's better ways for sure.
Man, I appreciate the vulnerability. Man, you said, like, God or, the creator designed us in life a certain way. So I want y'all to talk a little bit about, like, living and learning from nature, like the significance of that.
I meant to mention y'all key in the health thing too. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give bro his shout out, because he's taught me.
Can I say, hey, this brother taught me some stuff. I went home and I felt like an expert. I'm telling you, I went home and literally, I don't know what, somebody asked me a question. I was like, the level of soy in Fayetteville is only, and I'm like, damn, where'd I learn that from? And I was like, Stephan. So nah, for real though, just talk your talk, man.
Yes,
My boy was preaching.
I do want to, because I'm going to get on that learning from nature. Like, everything that, y'all are asking some great questions. But she said something amazing. She, like, I don't know if y'all caught that, but she said, we not man-made. But you look at every new disease that's out here, it's a biological weapon that was actually created inside a lab, because every virus that you naturally would have encountered inside of nature is already inside your DNA, RNA. It's already inside your RNA. So
wait a minute. What's the distinction between DNA and RNA? Since you just mentioned that.
I know it, but I'm a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to say
This is what you
scientific.
do. Yeah.
I'm about to say, so RNA is ribonucleic acid. DNA is deoxy. So without the oxygen. That's the specific, because you asked.
Okay,
what the
gotcha.
Ribonucleic acid. So deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is the double helix of what our genetic code is made up of. RNA takes the message or the code and transcribes that. It's like a messenger.
Okay.
So we can know what to do. Like, so our DNA knows what to do.
Gotcha.
So when he's saying biological warfare, a vaccine, they take plasmid from a bacteria and they kind of like titrate it, but in other words, water it down so that your body can receive that code and know that if you ever get sick with, so it's like, for example, COVID. I take a COVID strand, a virus strand. Virus has only RNA, it doesn't have DNA. And I put it into a bacteria plasmid. That is the way that they're able to transfer it into something that we can receive.
Yeah.
For lack of
To
make it make sense. Okay, you with me. So they put it into the bacteria plasmid, and then they put it into your body, watered down, to say, hey, this is COVID. If you ever get it, here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then if you get COVID, because you could still get COVID, it's just your body has seen it and knows how to fight it off.
Right. Got you.
Before I even pass it back, because I'm going to let him finish, because he was about to get into it. They recently changed the definition of what a vaccine can be. So when you change the definition of what a vaccine can be, now you give genetic code. You're putting real genetic code into a vaccine, RNA, to transcribe into my DNA.
That's crazy.
So now you're able to change my DNA.
How recent did they do that?
I'm not sure of the year.
This has been there for millions.
I was about to say, I'm not sure of the year like that. They changed the actual definition.
They just updating it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So the health system in itself is just pretty much what were you saying it was built upon?
What's your message?
Yeah, it was built upon lies, of course, but it was a word that you had used. No, it was a word you had used. Pretty much like the mistakes and all this stuff that they find by looking at your species, because it is a difference of species depending on how much nutrition the African American woman may need versus how much nutrition of this source a Caucasian lady, Hispanic lady. It's all different across the board because they're literally different species of human being. They all the same, we human being, but it's different species. A tiger and a lion.
Right.
But they fall into feline. You know what I'm saying? A house cat, it's the same feline, but has been domesticated to a smaller animal.
Yeah.
So they've been playing with genes and things like that for a very long time. This is nothing new. This is why
And they call it evolution.
and then they will call it evolution, but real evolution looks different. We can see real evolution from something like a a elephant, look at his nose, you know, look at a giraffe, and then you follow this diet to understand how it evolved. You know, so the trees that a giraffe is eating from, and I'm learning from nature. I'm answering your question as we're speaking. But a giraffe, the trees that it eat from has a certain, you know, alkaloids and things in it that's good for it. But also that plant, because when you study a giraffe, it didn't have a long neck before, but this tree somehow began to, you know, expand. So now I got to keep up with what's going on. So now he's eating this. Now his tongue has darkened over years, because as the trees and the leaves that has the most nutrients is higher, it's also close to the sun. Yeah. So when you're picking the best grapes, it's kind of hot up here though. You know, most people don't know this. But going back to what you were talking about with birth, giving birth, that's the greatest thing that we can learn from nature. When you look at how any animal, like she was saying, gives birth, I thought she was going to say it, but they're standing up. Yeah. You know, the standing up process in itself, because it's allowing that the woman, you know, it's showing her strength. A lot of the things that God put on us is to show, like I tell you, if you hit somebody and they mouth, blood is number one. That's a result of the open wound. It's trying to heal itself already. But then you may even say, because as the mouth open, and these are the same things that happen with women too, they tell the woman, moan it out, because when your what opens, what else opens?
So when your vocal, like, it's all in the vocal cord. Oh, it's all in the vocal cord. So when you speak, it's a certain vibration. Like, it helps with, it's like a mind thing. It helps with pain. Okay. So like they tell you to moan it out, or like to hum that vibration. It opens up. It's like a chakra, what they want to call it. Yeah. To open up like everything. So you open your mouth, you hum. This is also why, like, not even to get into it, like when you're having intercourse, you start moaning and stuff like that, it makes it more pleasurable, because when you open your mouth and you moan, that sound and vibration helps with the process of not only having a baby, but like the vaginal opening.
Yeah, so, you just put me on to something.
And so everybody on.
And so I want to say this: everything that just took place in that instruction is all a praise to your God. Yeah. All of it is just giving back praise to him. Like I said, the smack, ouch, you just released it sound to go to something. Where's that sound going? It's going back to your, I heard a cry. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to send the same way as your child may be crying or whatever. You may look in his eyes or whatever. This is why they say the omnipresence is always around us. You know, It's like you can always have a feeling of like where you get overwhelmed when things begin to happen. But there's a process of coming back down, touching yourself, slowing your heart rate, a certain breathing. The same breathing that we're breathing now is not the same breathing that we're supposed to be doing. And we know this because we actually study how to really breathe, really open up things, open up the channels of the chakras of the earth. The same way you have 7 wonders of the world, most people don't even know you got.
You got different. I want to say 7,
but it's a lot of different chakra points, but these are all pressure points of the body and things like that. We can learn from nature by looking at these volcanoes, the veins and the veins inside of the structure of the earth, the magma, all this stuff they say lies within us and how we conduct ourselves. And I can really get deep into things, but we ain't gonna go there today.
All right, so man, we're about to get ready and close out. So there's 2 things that I want to make sure that we emphasize real quick. So first, I want to ask, like, what advice do you have for, the Let's Grow Together family about, just health, and then just building like a culture around health, not just like, all right, I'm gonna eat healthy for a month, eat healthy for a week, I'm on this fad diet, but like really holistically building a culture around health.
I would say this: it is very hard to change your life. And I say your whole life because health has every aspect. It's not just the food you eat. Yeah. Like, keep your mind right. Like, whatever that is, surround yourself by the right people, the right energy. Energy is contagious. So if you're around somebody who's always eating hot Cheetos, or if you're around somebody who's not listening to the best music or not on the best frequency, then that is what your life will emulate. So you got to get around the right people. Like, it's a whole life change being healthy. It's not just something like, I'm going to stop eating pork and I'm going to be healthy. Like, it's a whole life change. That's real. So that would be my advice.
Cool. I'm going to be honest, bro. I'm going to tell y'all, like, what we've been learning for the past 3 days, I will tell young kids, any youth, any older person, too, that don't have the skills to do it. Because everything that we talk about and what we learn can be implemented 1,000% inside of that. But that's health to me. Restorative justice is what we're talking about. But that's health. You know what I mean? Because restoring the justice, you got to restore something. Something's been taken away, or done. There's an inconsistency somewhere in there that needs to be fixed. We're going to say that. And when it comes to the health thing that we all talking about, like, try some of that practice. Like, I know people won't understand, but like when you get around a group of people and we begin to, let's say that's the subject of what we're basing it around, so many things, the same way we're sitting here and And talking about this right here, the same thing will come out when they're talking about, and like she said, it's not just the health of your physical body. Like, you have so many aspects in your life that you can be healing, you know, that you may not know. And this right here for me, I can just say, like, just going through the training, I haven't even put it in everything yet that we can do. We already practice some of this stuff between each other, but I think that'd be a great thing. And to also, like she mentioned, like, it's not a rush. Like, I wish somebody would have told me that when I was younger, like, especially in my early 20s, because when we were getting back together, I was going through depression because I thought I was supposed to be on a certain status of life that I wasn't, you know, that I wasn't on. But, you know, she just set me down and brought me down the same way that she claims, you know, I helped her in many things. I think, like, we both sharpened each other, like, that was in needed places. But I do want to tell, like, I know she's been joking about him, you know, and the sodium and stuff, but all three of them, you probably keep him accountable, but I know they have a workout team, you know, and it's great to have a team behind you, because she gets on me some days. I'll sit up on the computer and my books and don't want to go out, don't want to do it because I feel like I need to get this, but it's not more important than you actually exercising and getting that heart out. And like I said, man, you fit, brother. Y'all fit, man. Y'all been doing the thing, and so that's what I will leave with.
Appreciate you.
Collective accountability. My boy Stephan, then they're finna have me hugging trees and stuff the other day. I had to look over my shoulder, make sure nobody was around. I say all that to say, man, I appreciate you all sincerely being vulnerable, shedding some light. I think it was perfect timing with restorative justice. I think it was easy to really implement and follow up with this conversation. So thank y'all again sincerely for being guests coming on. Again, let's grow together, family. Y'all know what we're all about, man. So we're gonna continue to build. Again, I'm beyond proud and excited to have my brother here in North Carolina, man. But as we close out, James, where can they find us? Where can they tap in, man?
Yo, man, let's go together, family. As always, man, first and foremost, man, please tap into the merch. Y'all see it, man. Y'all see it in person, man. Y'all can go ahead and hit the link in the bio on our Instagram, which is the Let's Grow Together Pod. And then you can find a podcast everywhere you get your podcast, plus YouTube. But look, if our listeners want to tap in with y'all, like, how would they be able to tap in with y'all individually? And then how would they be able to get some of those dope products?
Yes, of course. You can find my products online, my website, www.preteep.com. So PreTeepBoutique.com. Also, all platforms at PreTeepBoutique LLC. And on TikTok, just at PreTeep. So just tap in with me. Like I said, my name is Azha McNeil. Here is my brand. I'm everywhere that you can find some internet.
I like that. Hip Hop Culture, HHC, you can find me on Instagram. I think that's the only platform I pretty much be on. But Hip Hop Culture, HEMP, not hip hop, but hemp. So the cannabinoids that's in your THC, your cannabis is what I'm talking about, hip hop culture. So we're bringing the information back to the people that don't have any information about how hemp could be used, the different ways you can, utilize this plant, down to the health benefits, down, to furniture making, homes, all of it. So I'm here to do that. So please plug in with us.
Appreciate all the above. And again, y'all can tap in myself, Mastermind_Marcus, and Roots Mentoring at Roots Mentoring everywhere. So as always, family, let's grow together. Y'all be blessed. Appreciate you, family.
Peace.
Trying to find me a balance in life. Why I'm still trying to gamble with life. Wanna be great, it gotta come with a price. Gotta watch what you ask for. I strive for these moments in life. I'm still learning and giving advice. I try carrying the weight of the world. See, I saw when I was losing myself. I had to catch my breath. Nobody got you like you got yourself. So it's important for you to know who you are. Cause in the dark you gotta fight with your heart. Even if your heart broken apart. But they still gon' judge me. So tell me how that's been here for me. I had to see that everybody didn't love me. Like everybody ain't for me. I took chances just to see for myself. Cause for the longest I've been hurting myself. Trying to blame someone else. I stand on it, don't regret what I did. Cause I can live that my intentions were real. My heart just needed to heal. Gotta get back to loving myself and trusting myself and better my health. Nobody loves you like you loving yourself. You gotta know who you are. Gotta get back to loving myself and trusting myself and better my health. Nobody loves you like you loving yourself. And be